Hi everyone, this is Charlotte. This is Axel. And together we are Arcana Kundalini. And with Axel's EP of meditations and yoga tracks coming out this weekend, of all the music that you've been hearing and loving in the classes, I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you to Axel in this format and have you hear more from him because he always has such beautiful, intelligent, incredible things to say.
Oh, thank you. That is way too much. Hi, everybody. Great to meet you virtually.
So, we're here to talk about the music today
That's right.
and how the music has shaped you.
Mm-hmm.
And who is Axel King,
Yeah.
and how does this latest project relate to everything that you've already done. But first things first, I know as your partner how much music is a part of like your every moment and your everyday life and how important sound is to you. So can you tell us a bit about some of your earliest experiences with music and the impact of sound and how it's shaped you as a person?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. So, the one thing that I do know about my life is that music is my constant. And uh, I think, the earliest memories I have of music is me being in diapers in front of a big speaker and just dancing
So
away
cute.
and just, loving it, right? And my parents had everything from a tape deck to a vinyl player to CDs, all of that kind of stuff. But I was always listening to it, and um, my parents also later on nicknamed me Happy Feet because my room would be on the second floor, and I would always just be tapping on my feet, kind of listening to music, and always drumming. So whether I'm drumming with my feet, I'll be drumming with my hands, drumming with my teeth, all kinds of things. And so it's just always really been a part of my life, and I can't live without it. So,
I've actually never caught you drawing with your teeth.
well, now that you
Now I'm
know,
gonna listen.
you're gonna see. You're gonna see my jaw just like
just drumming, constantly drumming.
exactly.
And so you started performing and writing music at a pretty young age. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think my first experience with an instrument was the recorder in second or third grade, I think. So that probably sounded absolutely amazing. And then in fourth grade, I got into the guitar. I wanted to play the saxophone for some reason. I had picked that as my second choice, and I got my first choice as a guitar to play the guitar. But either way, did that for a couple of years, learned some basics, didn't like it too much. And then, let's see, in eighth grade, so back in Sweden, where I'm from, born and raised, um, at 14 or so, a couple of my friends had a band together, and they were missing a bassist. So I think that's how a lot of band stories go. And so I, I think I either saved some money or wished that for my birthday, and essentially ended up getting a bass. And then we played a bunch of really probably not amazing System of a Down covers, and we're trying to play a lot of metal and that kind of
I
stuff.
heard I need to step in here because I heard
Yeah.
one of the tracks and it was actually very good. You showed it
Ah,
to me once, yes.
well, thanks. Well, you heard probably the one from a couple of bands into it. So we had a couple of iterations. So the first couple of bands were definitely just covers in the basement. Yeah, again, trying to recreate the rock and metal feelings of all of our favorite bands. But then ended up having another band with my best friends, and yeah, we put together a lot of different music. I think our biggest inspirations was everything from Tool to Coldplay to Muse, and we just had a mix of genres. And I think that's always been a big thing for me, to listen to all kinds of music. And I like to listen to all kinds of sounds. So the more I can incorporate that into one song, I just love that. So yeah, those were a couple of the band experiences back in Sweden.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How do you think, how would you describe music as a vehicle in your own life?
That's a great question. I mean,
Like both your music and your experience of music as, because just someone who's so close to you, but even before I knew you,
yeah.
wait, I do know, I saw that within you, that music was like a huge tool for you to transmute energy.
Yeah.
And where do you feel like that came in?
Yeah. I mean, I think that is the vehicle to my life. There is no, for me, I can't even imagine a life without music. So it's a vehicle in so many aspects. I think, from just listening to it, that keeps me motivated. It keeps me excited. It helps kind of balance a lot of feelings. I find that that's a safe place, because as we all do, we all have all kinds of feelings, and sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're angry, sometimes we're sad, depressed, all kinds of things. And so having various kinds of music as an outlet for that has just been super, super helpful. So again, kind of going back to my teenage years, going to school, picture a dark, snowy night in Sweden, or morning, going to school, and then just feeling down, feeling, what's where's life going, what's happening, all of these things, and then having some amazing metal in my ears. That was just like a great outlet, because I could just feel like, well, all of these feelings that are inside me, they're being dealt with through the music, and it's just a safe way, without going out and do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one aspect of it. And then I think, but on the other hand, it's also just as good to just be, calming myself down. And whether it's studying, having as background music, at dinners, I feel like it's just constantly on in my life, as you know.
And as I love and appreciate.
I have this problem where there's not enough hours in the day to listen to all the music that I want to listen to. It's a real struggle. So, does that answer the question? I feel like I'm rambling.
No, I love you. So, can you tell us, and I'm actually interested because I don't know the answer to this myself, so I'm excited to discover, how did Axel King come about, your current project?
Yeah.
What was leading up to it? How did you pick up that mantle of Axel King? And what would you say is its mission as it's moving forward? Yeah. And then probably describing for people what it is, what it sounds like, and kind of the energy behind it.
Absolutely. So I think I'll try to start with the mission. And I've been trying not to overthink this, because that was actually one of the things that got me stuck to not do any music for a while. Yeah. Just feeling like it has to be something. So I have decided that it doesn't have to be anything in particular. But ultimately, what I would love to do is to provide soundscapes that help others connect with, whether it is going into those more fiery feelings and just being able to jam out with that or connect with it, whether it's the lyrics or just the energy of the guitars or the drums. But then also, from a meditation standpoint as well, and, some of those more calmer songs. And so I think ultimately, if I could summarize it, the mission is to help others connect with themselves and just feel good, feel safe, and
safe to be seen, right?
Yes, exactly.
And the fullness of human emotion.
Yes, exactly. Because it's a way for me to be my true self, and that was super scary the first time releasing a first song. It's like, wow, now the whole world, my world, is gonna see and hear this.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. And
a little secret. I had known Axel for about a year before we started talking.
Yeah.
And it was really like, oh, this guy's like really cool. He's really talented. He's very cute. And then when I heard your song Eternal Mind, that was when I was like, wait, am I in love? Because the sheer like power and force and vulnerability in your music, like as soon as I heard it, I thought like, wow, like I've been in this, like we've been orbiting around each other for a year, but now I feel like I really understand who this person is, right? And I feel like just when I listen to that in your music, it gives me more permission to be seen.
That's great.
You know, it's like, you know, by opening the doors to allow people to truly see you, that is like, that helps people release their guards, right? So it's like, oh, like, it's okay. We're all being safe, being seen here.
And I love that story. And for me, when you said that, in full transparency, I definitely thought like, oh, you're just saying this to be nice. Because I'm like, there's no way that she likes this song.
I listened to that song 207 times.
True story. So I think, but that being the case, right? Because there's, for those who have not heard that song, I'm doing all kinds of things. Like there's a part that's rapping, and there's a part that's screaming.
It's
right?
not what you would call yoga music.
No, exactly. So you might be like, why are we talking about this? But
it's amazing. It's my favorite song of all time. Go listen to it. Eternal Mind by Axel King.
I'm like, there's gonna be new stuff. Let's focus on that. But and I mean, there's my metal inspiration, right? There's screaming aspects of it, and I think that kind of also goes back to my mission. I want to be a bit of a bridge for people who have not experienced that kind of music before, similar to how some bands were gateway bands for me, because now I listen to all kinds of stuff and you know, very heavy though.
Ranging from a light scream to just a full scream from beginning to end.
That's right. You hear it. So
I'm in the mid scream zone myself.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's really what I want to do, right? But I also am not trying to lock myself into a specific genre. It is just I just want to do what feels right to me and put that out there, and then hopefully people connect with it.
Well, then, like, that's a perfect segue. How would you describe this latest chapter and this latest adventure of Axel King? Because this release, it's crazy because you're so incredible at making this music. And for those who don't know the backstory behind this EP, it's literally, we're going to film something, and I decide what I'm going to teach. And I go to Axel, and I'm like, baby, we're going to film this tonight, and this is the song that I need. And he sits down and makes it. It's incredible. And so the music that you've been hearing is really like an in the moment. It's not totally in the moment, but like it has been produced maybe hours before we filmed the class. And it's incredible. And how would you describe, like, what does this latest venture feel like to you? Yeah. And also, that's a good start. Like, how did you get into Kundalini practice?
Yes. So two great questions. I think let's start with the Kundalini stuff, and then we can get back into the latest EP. For Kundalini, I got introduced to Kundalini yoga through my mom, who got her certificate and teacher license and all that back in Sweden when I was a kid, and I got introduced to it, and you know, it was interesting, it was fun, but nothing that really stuck with me. Right? It was more.
You didn't like the mantras and the hand positions when you were 12?
It was a little strange. But it was fun to joke about with my brother and my mom and dad. But either way, I kind of feel like, you know, life goes on, and I kind of felt like once I had gotten a few more experiences in my life backpack, then now all of a sudden this was a lot more powerful. And after going to college and sitting down and meditating and kind of feeling, you know, I'm just going to do 10 minutes of sitting down. And then I set a timer and then felt all panic mode and kind of, and then it must have been 10 minutes. I I must have forgotten to put the stopwatch on. And then I looked, and it had been like 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm like, oh wow, I really need this. And then fast forward a couple of years, my mom and I went to a yoga retreat, a yoga week in California, where a certain someone was the teacher.
The Life Force Academy immersion.
That's right. That's right. So I was a student, first time really being at an immersion, at a retreat like this, and I was just going to be there to support my mom, hang out with my mom, and do this. And it was just super, super, super powerful to me. And I was at a point in my life where I was a little bit at a crossroads, trying to figure out, well, where am I going? What is it that I'm trying to do? And I have a couple of different paths laid out in front of me. And this one just kind of opened up. It was a path that I didn't know existed. And the kind of impact it had on me, I felt the need to explore it further. Because if 2 minutes of chanting this mantra, or 2 minutes of, doing certain exercises is having this much of an impact on me, I kind of owe myself to explore it further. And then, long story not short, fast forward again, I ended up signing up for a teacher training myself. And I had no clue that you were going to be there. And so that was a very nice bonus. Because here we are. and so then I got my own teacher training or teacher certificate. And it's just been a daily practice since. And now we get to do this together.
I know. It's so amazing.
With the love of my life. So. Let's stay focused on the interview. Wait, I gotta be focused. I'm the one who's not focusing. The second question was, that was Kundalini and then going into the EP. Yeah. That's right. So this latest venture then, again, I've always been loving meditation music. We had that back home too, a lot of times, again, with dinner, just always having music back home. And I just kind of felt like I want to explore this also. And so then when we put this together, I had been dabbling with it a little bit and explored some of it. And there's at least one other track out there in my previous catalog that has like the meditation sounds to it. But now this one, Meditations 01, that's going to be the first full meditation EP. And so, yeah, all of those songs you will have heard in Arcana, in the different classes. And we already have some other stuff in the works. There's some other finished songs already that you can only hear exclusively in these classes. So, for now. But now, I'm super, super excited to be releasing this on Sunday.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the world to hear it. So with this latest EP coming out on Sunday, the sounds may be different than your other music that's on Spotify. Like if people were to go to your profile. Yeah. But to me, the ethos, the values, the mission are very much the same. And that's why I think like the marriage of Arcana Kundalini and Axel King Official is so beautiful, because it is like these two ventures have this core mission and value in common of like embrace the fullness of you, right? Like embrace your weirdness, embrace the things that like might, over the course of your life you might have wanted to hide, but really like we're losing so much power and like maybe like shutting off some intuitive gifts by like pushing those things down.
100%.
What are your thoughts on that? Or how do you feel like the values transfer over from your point of view?
Yeah, great question. I think you said it so well. You're so good with words.
Thanks.
So I think just exactly that's what music has done for me, right? Like music has, it feels like, when I put in my headphones or listen to it wherever throughout my life. That has just been a safe space to be myself, and it's definitely been and still is to this day one of those where I'm like, okay, well, no one else is in the room, right? Then I can be myself. But by having the music as a vehicle, as a venue, as an outlet, it feels like a best friend who's just cheering you on, who's just like, yes, like this is you, or a partner. It's just like, this is you, and we see it and we support it. That's what the artists and the bands and the instrumental sounds make me feel like. And so I think that's also part of Arcana. It's where we want people to embrace their weirdness, right? Like people, the world is so boxed in, and it's not fun. It gets really boring, at least from my perspective. I think there are so many people out there. I talk to people daily about this, right? Like people that, you might think you know someone, and then you ask one more question about what is it that they do outside of work? Who are they when they are by themselves? And people want those venues to have it as a mirror, right? Like it's like, I think a lot of artists, whether it's bands, performers, actors, painters, teachers, yoga teachers, I think a lot of those people help the community to sort of be their true selves, right?
Yeah.
It's like they are giving you they're allowing you, they're helping you, they're encouraging you through the arts, through the teachings, through the music, through the entertainment. It's like, yeah, we were also weird at one point. We decided to create something and use
I'm still
that.
Weird.
I'm
very
me too.
strange.
Me too. Me too. And I know we've talked about this a lot. Like, personally, I feel like I have a lot of different sides of me. So, different friend groups, and it's like different friend groups will see different sides of me because everyone's different, right? And so that throughout my life was a big part of, asking myself the question of like, where do I belong? Who am I? That kind of thing. But then getting to a point where, and of course I still have to remind myself of this, but getting to a point where it's like, you don't have to fit into one box. You can actually be all the boxes. And then you can, if you take a little bit of each box, you can create something cool and unique, and that hopefully someone else, connects with.
And now that you're saying that, like, if I had to, like, describe for me, because we're both Arcana, but, like, on my end, like, my mission with Arcana is, like, to help people realize it's, like, you don't have to fit into any box.
Exactly.
Like, let's make your own box.
Yeah.
Because you have the tools, like you have the hammer, you have the nails, you have the boards.
Exactly.
Even if they don't look like the boards that are perfect from IKEA over here, like right. You have all the tools right here. So like, let's make your own box and fill it up with your magic. And that's where, like, as a teacher, and especially with Arcana Soma, which is the women's program that's launching next weekend, my goal is to, especially when it comes to women's teachings, my goal is less to give teachings on how to be a woman, right? Like, there are yogic teachings and mystic teachings and all these things that we pull from back here that are universal principles and archetypes that we draw the wisdom from. But the real act is, like, making your own box, like taking those principles as your tool and like using them to paint your boards, but only the ones that resonate with you.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And so, I love that you say that, because I think most people, I know that I have gained so much power in my own life by realizing that that person that I am, when I like close the doors, I'm like, oh my God, I can just be my real self. Like, by uniting you know, the like outside in the world Charlotte with like behind
Yeah.
the doors, like Charlotte safe to be safe, Charlotte.
Yeah.
I've
Because
gained so much power by bringing those two things closer together.
yeah.
And I think like it just leads to a more fulfilling life because there's so many rules in our society, and for all the gifts of social media, which there are many, right? Like I love social media, but I think one of the liabilities of social media is that there's so many different frameworks of how to be, and if we try to apply ourselves too much to a framework, we lose the magic of us when really the framework is meant to tap you into that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the more that you can sort of intertwine the outside world, Axel, and the whoever I am within these walls, the easier life gets, the more harmonious life gets, and the more fun it gets.
And fulfilling.
And fulfilling, right? Because it's you don't want to be in a position where you have to feel, or I don't want to be in a position where I have to feel like, okay, wait, who am I with these people? Who am I in this situation? Like the more you can just be grounded in your own self and find that connection with yourself, I think the better. And that's going back to Kundalini energy and just yoga and meditation in general, combined with music. That is where I have found a lot of strength for myself in just finding my own footing, because we are all insecure at some point, and probably more than we want to. So, yeah.
Maybe a few times a day.
Maybe a few times a day. It's not, yeah.
That's fine.
Exactly. It comes and it goes, and I think it's just it's the consistency of. That's why it's so important to find what works for you, and stay consistent with that, right?
Yeah.
And just trying to honor yourself in that perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I do think that we have a lot of great intertwining.
I know. And I just think I think so much in our culture, we think that to get this job, I have to be this way, right?
Yeah.
Or to get this partner, I have to be this way. Or to get
to have friends, I
have to be this way.
Exactly.
And so, but really, we gain so much more fulfillment in every single facet of life when it's like, oh, I don't really need that framework. I can just be me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, I'm going to mess up whatever the quote is, but I saw something where it's like, here's a life hack, be yourself, like dance around in the room, and the people, the people who scatter, those are the people that you don't want to hang out with, and the people that come and dance with you, those are the people that you want to hang out with, right? So obviously a metaphor, or
let your weirdness shine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So go and dance and do that if that's what you want, or again, metaphorically, just do what feels right. And I try to remind myself of that every day when creating new music and putting it out to the world.
Everything that we're talking about only becomes, because it's one thing to talk about it, right? Yeah. And at a certain point, the words just become constructs until they're experienced. And so everything that we're talking about, right, that happens through the vehicles, right? Through the creative endeavors, through the experience of if music is a vehicle for you, it's the music that you love, it's the practices that you love, those are the things that turn everything that we're talking about into oh yeah, we have some experience with this now because we've worked with it through these different avenues.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Meditation's one.
Coming
up Sunday.
420.
Thank you so much for getting on.
Yeah.
And having this conversation, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that everyone likes it.
Everyone already loves it.
Now more to come, but super excited about this release.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for you guys to hear it and to have it in your homes to enjoy in your yoga practice, when you're cleaning the house, whenever. Yeah. For any and all occasions.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
And if you haven't signed up for
Arcana Soma
yet.
Yeah. Kundalini and Magical Energy School for women. It goes lunar cycle by lunar cycle, and I'm really excited. We're actually going to break this down. I'm going to film some stuff for it right after this. It's really learning how to work with your intention and your energy,
Yeah.
which is the basis of all magic, right? And Kundalini, part of the reason why Kundalini practice is so powerful is that it's working with those very things, right? Your inner energy, the elemental energy, your will, and weaving those things together. So the idea is that, like, if you have, and even if you don't have any experience with Kundalini energy practice, you're already working with magic,
Yeah.
right? So it's taking it through that lens and harmonizing with the rhythm of the moon to help feminine identifying beings bring forth the visions, the manifestations, the transformations that they're seeking in their life. So that's Arcana Soma.
Yeah.
And we start April 27th.
It's going to be amazing.
I'm really excited.
I've seen all the work that she's put in. It's going to be great. Yeah. And it'll have the Axel King tracks there too.
Yes.
So.
More. I'm about to request a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, with that, I got to get to work.
Thanks so much for getting on with this, baby.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much. We love you, and we're wishing you a beautiful rest of your day.